Welcome back to Cityline. Joining us now from Associated Ministries is Aliyah Freeman, Annika Frega, and Ozzie Miller. And thank you for joining us today on Cityline.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
So, shared housing, that's a new concept to me, but first we want to ask Aliyah, what is Associated Ministries?
Yeah, so Associated Ministries is a nonprofit that's right here on Hilltop in Tacoma, and we are dedicated to helping the unhoused and the homeless. We have so many programs that are committed to our mission of, standing together to make sure that all are housed and that we are all being able to be whole. So we have programs such as our shared housing, which we're talking about today, payee services that takes their mail for them if they don't have an address, rapid rehousing, coordinated entry to get them through the actual process and register them as literally homeless to get them other resources, our client resource service center, VITA, which is basically a volunteer income tax assistant program. And then we also have our Paint Tacoma Beautiful program, which is a volunteer-led program that helps paint around Tacoma. So a lot of different programs to help people who are either low income, elderly, or unhoused.
Very nice. So, Annika, tell us about the adult home share and youth host home programs.
Yeah, so I facilitate the adult home share program at Associated Ministries, and really what it is a preventative solution to homelessness. What we're really trying to do is offer an alternative to shelter stays, to staying in your car, to couch surfing by using the space that we already have in Pierce County. We have a lot of homeowners that have spare bedrooms, they'd like to age in place, or they could use some extra income. And what we do is match them up with somebody who is at risk of losing their housing, and we match them up with the home provider who has a spare bedroom, and they can rent that room out for hundreds of dollars rather than thousands. So it's a really good program that offers affordable housing, for home seekers.
All right. Aliyah, did you want to expand on that at all? Or?
Yeah, so with the Youth Host Home program, which is the sister program of the Adult Home Share, it's a little bit different. So with that program, we work with youths who are 18 to 24, who are already entered into the coordinated entry system. And the coordinated entry system is basically a county-led system and database that holds people's information, gives them caseworkers and case managers if they are literally homeless. And we try to help them find different housing. And so we pull from that system to then pair them with people who have spare bedrooms, and Associated Ministry pays us $750 and sometimes utilities of rent for them.
Very nice. Yeah. Okay. So how does one qualify and apply to be a home provider or home seeker?
Yeah, well, I mean, for adult home share, it's fairly simple. If you're a home seeker, if you're someone who's looking for affordable housing, what you would do is you would apply online on our website, or you can come into our office and fill out a paper application. We review that application. You do have to have income, and you do have to pass a background check. And then you go ahead and have an interview with us, and then we match you up with a home provider based on your housing preferences. With the home provider side of things, again, it's that application process on our website, or you can fill out a paper one in our office. They also have to complete a background check and pass that. And then we actually go and do a home visit to ensure that their home is going to be physically safe and emotionally safe as well, because they also go through the same interview as the home seeker. And so once they pass all of that, then we match them up with somebody who needs affordable housing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, my understanding is we have a video of one of the folks that it's actually on your website.
Yeah.
And so we have a brief soundbite that we want to watch and listen to.
Of course.
I accomplished getting my first ever independent living situation, even though it was shared living. It was still my own thing. Like, yeah, I had a roommate, but me and my roommate got along, and I've already been accustomed to having a roommate. So that wasn't really new to me, it was just a new person. But it was the fact that I had my own key to get into my own place. That was my first milestone. 3 months later, after getting my first job over in December last year, I re-enrolled in school. Took me a little bit longer than I wanted to, but I got done by the dead point of June 7th, I believe it was, for getting my high school diploma.
So that's very interesting, and I want to understand how you ensure that the match between the home provider and the home seeker will be a good one.
Yeah, so we do our best to do all of that work up front. We ask very thorough questions on the application regarding preferences, on what it feels like to find a safe living arrangement, right? So we ask, you know, are you okay with smoking in the house? Are you a smoker yourself? Do you have pets? Are you okay with living in a house with a couple or children? Really questions like that on both the home seeker and home provider side. And then we also repeat those questions in more depth during the interview so that we can assure that we are asking all of those important and difficult questions up front so we can find the best match possible. And then I also send resources during those match meets. You know, especially if they're the first time in the program, I have a list of questions I send. Like, these would be good questions to ask when you're meeting for the first time to ensure that there are house rules in place and that you both feel comfortable moving on with a living arrangement if you decide that.
Great. Well, I want to jump ahead to Ozzy here, and Ozzy, how were you introduced to Associated Ministries and the youth host home program?
Right. So I was struggling with homelessness about 3 months at the time, and I visited the Reach Center. And the Reach Center did a coordinated entry for me, and they put me in priority pool, and I was eligible for the AM program. The AM program reached out to me, and then we did an interview process, and then I was introduced to my host, and yeah, everything went really good from there.
So when you look back, how did the program impact your life, and what goals have you accomplished since then?
Right. I knew due to my mental health that I would struggle getting a job while I was struggling with homelessness. And they practiced the housing first model. And so the housing first model is where they provide housing before they expect you to get a job or before they expect you to go to rehab or get like help like that. Mm-hmm. And I truly believe that because I got housing before I had to get a job and before I needed to fully get on my feet, I'm able to get where I am today. Right now, I work at the Reach Center. I'm a systems navigator. I've been there for about 8 months now. I've been paying for my own rent for about 3 months now. I have a car. I'm learning how to drive, and I'm finally stable for once in my life, and I'm extremely grateful to AM for that.
Wow, that's a great story. I really appreciate you sharing that. So, Aaliyah, why is affordable housing difficult for the average person to acquire?
Yeah, it really is just the overall affordability and the criteria that these landlords and these different housing spaces require for people to get into the space. A lot of the places require 3 times the rent, a certain credit score, rental history, no evictions on the rental history. And that can be a lot for people, especially in these times. Some people, have so many challenges that they've been through just for one thing to stop them from getting housing. And it's unfortunate that a lot of these places are so strict on those rules, but it really just is the cost and the requirements.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then, Annika, what challenges have you faced with the program's efforts?
Yeah, I mean, this is a relatively newer program to AM. We adopted it from Shared Housing, which was its own nonprofit. And since then, our main goal that goes along with our main challenge is finding home providers. So we are doing as much outreach as we can to find folks who have spare bedrooms in their house, and maybe they could use some extra income, because right now we are seeing such a need for affordable housing, right? And what Aaliyah just mentioned, it's really hard for most people to afford housing right now in Pierce County. And so what we're trying to do is find spare bedrooms. That's the main challenge, so that we can meet the need with this program.
Very good. So when you look at the common misconceptions about homelessness, what do most people think?
Yeah, I feel like most people think that a lot of people who are homeless are either using substances, they're under substance abuse, it's too much mental health issues that they're going with, that they're unable to just get themselves together, they can't get right. But a lot of it really is that so many people nowadays are living paycheck to paycheck, to where all it takes is one paycheck to be missed for someone to end up in a sticky situation, such as being unhoused or such as being on the verge of being evicted, to where they don't have the resources to get themselves back on there. It truly just is the fact that it's not affordable anymore. The wages are here and the rent continues to go higher and higher here.
Sure. Well, one final question. If someone can't provide a spare room to support the cause, how else could they help the organization?
Yeah, so they'd be able to support us by volunteering, either through our programs like Paint Tacoma Beautiful, VITA. They're able to spread the word about us through social media, through just word of mouth, through their different church congregations. If they are involved in a church, then by spreading the word and having us join them to give presentations, to just table at their events, if they know any resource fairs, just to really help us connect and bring more of that outreach and that mission to the community. We want to get the word out as much as possible.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, thanks again for all three of you for being here today to share the story about shared housing with Associated Ministries. Aaliyah Freeman, Shared Housing Marketing Specialist, Annika Frega, Shared Housing Outreach Specialist, and Ozzie Miller, your story of the youth host home client. Just appreciate all your time.
Thank you so
thank you
much.
for having
Thanks
us.
for having
We'll see you
us.
again soon. We need another report. So,
Yes.
and I see Rhubarb is in the house to share the story about the Carol Milgard Pink Night, and we'll be back with that in just a moment.